Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. Apologies for our tardy arrival. We had some technical difficulties, which means that Will's 2G Baltimore City internet it went down at like 7:03. I'm sorry, Will. You know I had to. What would I be if I was not throwing the man's under the bus? I have to stay on brand now. Come on. Don't be too hard. So anyway, but here we are. That's the most important thing is that we are here. And here you are. I hope. Look, hold on. Let me go to the let me go to the broadcast and make sure that somebody is actually in here. Welcome and thank you all for making time to come out and join me on this evening. We've got a good show for you tonight. We are very excited about the UAW strike. That is a BFD. I should have actually did something about but about Biden's impeachment inquiry going along with Hunter Biden's indictment for gun possession. But I said, you know what? Let's hold off. We can there's plenty of time for celebration, right? And not to say it's a celebration, bitches, but it kind of is a celebration, bitches, because when all the powerful white folks are in trouble, man, whew, those are the days I live for. And then in trouble is a relative thing when we are talking about powerful white folks. So maybe we'll save that for next week. But anyway, who we got up in here? We got a couple people in here. Thank you all for coming out. What's up, Holly? What's going on, 40J Blaze? Real quick, what's up, Wendy? For our Jewish family, our Jewish sister and brethren, happy Rosh Hashanah, happy Jewish New Year. What year is it? What's the year? What's the year in amongst Jewish folks? Can I go there? Am I allowed into that year? I don't like this year, 2023. 2024. These don't seem like promising years. Maybe the Jewish folks are living in better years. What year is it in Ethiopia? It's not 2023 in Ethiopia. It's a whole different year in Ethiopia. It's like, can I go back there? Can I get on a plane to Addis Ababa and be in a whole new year? I would like that very much. So anyway, happy Rosh Hashanah for those who celebrate. I am only familiar with the Jewish holidays because of the school district in which I attended, because we got off Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur every September. I always thought it was the coolest shit. I was like, yo, we just got back in school and we off. They're thanking all my Jewish classmates for being who they were. I said, thank y'all for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur right here in September. I will take it. Along with Labor Day, we had 3 4-day school weeks to start school off. It was lovely, lovely, lovely. So there's that. What was another thing? Oh, Quaker. I don't know if Quaker's in here. Quaker anarchist, Quaker socialist. We see that the hurricane is making its way towards Maine. So we wanted to send you some love, send love to the family. Everybody, all of the fire fam up in New England. I don't even know if we have any fire fam in southeastern Canada. Shout out to Halifax. Shout out to Nova Scotia. But y'all be on the lookout because that hurricane look a little nasty and could do some damage. So please be on your P's and Q's. So shout out to the good sis Quaker anarchist socialists because they be up there. So anyway, what's up, Valley Girls? Thank you so much for coming through. Did I already shout out 40J Blaze? Silberg, what's up? Is it coming towards you? Duck. The duck, my nigga, duck. Look out for the hurricane. Hey, Damien, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Dee Dee, thank you so much for being here. Who else do we got in here? We got a couple folks up in here. I'm very glad that y'all made the time. So anyway, we're going to get right into things. Peace, Emmanuel. Thanks so much for coming through. Guys, don't forget to do all the goofy things like share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. We're only 102 subscribers away from 4,000. I'm pretty psyched about that. And I know a lot of people were like, Kim, that's actually you're down bad in the YouTube streets. And I'm like, no, I am not down bad. We are up 3,898 subscribers. We are up. Actually, we are not down at all. We are definitely up. So we, fuck the haters. We doing what we do over here. Um, the first thing I want to get into is the good stories. Hey, Vesper X. I'm very excited to see that the UAW has decided to strike. They struck starting last night. Will, if you could please, we're gonna start with the official announcement from the brother, if you know what I'm talking about. The announcement of the strike put to song, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, the good brother Wilbert. Because, there are, according to the UAW, they have over 400,000 active members of the UAW, right? But these members that are striking work for three plants for the big three automakers, one outside of Detroit, one in Toledo, Ohio, and another in suburban St. Louis, Missouri. And these folks walked off the job last night. Now, according to the UAW president, Sean Fien, he says that the big three automakers had the most recent version of the contract proposal, of the negotiations proposal. They've had these in their hands for 6 weeks. And it wasn't until this week that the big three automakers made it plain that they were not about to sign off on these latest round of negotiations. Now, what the UAW is trying to strike for is a number of things, but they want significant pay increases, which they deserve. They want an ear. They want an end to the tiered hiring system in which there are lesser and fewer benefits available for people who are newer hires as opposed to people that have worked there for some time. That the union members say is a way for management to divide the workers, right? Because you have folks coming in who are new that don't have as much benefits, and the folks that are already there are like, no. These newer people should have all the benefits that we have. And in fact, our benefits need to be strengthened because of what the union members sacrificed during the 2008 automotive industry collapse. Y'all remember those years, right? When everybody got bailed the fuck out except for the people, right? The auto industry got bailed out, the banks got bailed out, and what did the people get? Jack fucking shit, right? The union members, especially the UAW members, gave up a lot to keep the big three automakers, to keep the US automotive industry alive. They gave up their cost of living increases, their COLA benefits. They sacrificed their pensions, even though I think the pensions go away in '08, or the pensions went away before that. And now these members say they want their things back. They say that the auto industry has rebounded totally, and we can see that in the form of the profits that these motherfuckers have raked in even during 2023 alone. And the union members say, you know what? Give me ours. We want our share, because it was our labor, our sweat, our bodies that generated these profits. These CEOs sat up in the fucking office and did what? Put pen to paper, sent out emails. The fuck, the fuck, and they got their salaries increased by 40% in addition to stock buybacks. I don't even know the shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Stock buybacks and dividends and all that shit. All that financial instrumentation that I don't understand, because that shit does not apply to me. That shit does not apply to I don't have no investment into nothing. But so that's why I be fucking up the terms. But I know what the shit is, right? And I know that them CEOs did not deserve to earn over 300 times more than their average salaried worker. And I know that for a fact. So we're going to start a couple places. Let's go, Will, if we could, with the announcement from the brother via the music video about why UAW workers are now on strike. Let's take a listen.
We going on strike all night till they get this shit right. Look, we going going on strike, so you better listen. We ain't about to keep working under these conditions.
Facts.
Working in a hot plant with no air
It's hot as
conditioning.
hell.
And they got the nerve to tell us that this fair conditions.
right.
They don't work their ass off, they gon' get fired.
Facts.
Temps working like slaves and don't get hired.
Come on.
The supervisor don't care if they get tired.
They don't.
They just trying to make sure themselves get hired.
Keep going.
The union gotta stick together, do this for each other.
They do.
Do this one for all my sisters, do this for our brothers. Cause they trying to treat us wrong, but they say they love us.
Real.
We need a change right now, we ain't going further.
Yes.
We going on strike.
Strike.
We going on strike.
For real.
We going on strike.
Tonight.
Till they get this shit right.
Facts.
We going on strike.
Strike.
We going on strike.
For real.
We going on strike.
Tonight.
Till they get this shit right.
I mean, that sums it up. Right? We going on strike till they get this shit right. Let's go. Let us go. Let us go. Okay, that was, to me, that was the official announcement of the strike. Now let's hear the unofficial announcement from the actual UAW president, telling, I believe this clip came from More Perfect Union, but basically explaining, this is about these particular members of the of this union, but the struggle for the American worker right now is bigger than just what's happening at these three plants, right? People are being pushed to the brink, right? Folks are actually getting out here working 40, 50, 60 plus hours, or working a full-time 40 an hour a week job and then going to their part-time job, going to their second job, and they can barely hold on. Okay, the American dream that was sold is now, not to say that it is recently now, but it has long been a nightmare. But the fact that it is pounding now working class white folks, and not to say working class white folks wasn't catching hell, they was catching hell, but they catching more hell now. So imagine what it's like for working class black and brown folks, right? If the white folks is down bad, that the black and brown folks is down bad out here. So let's go ahead and listen to what the UAW president had to say. And again, he spoke about this action more so from a class perspective, usually than what we normally hear from folks that are sitting down in front of cameras. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Making bold demands and organizing to fight for them is an act of faith. It's an act of faith in each other. And yes, these corporations are mountains, but together we can make these mountains move. I have always believed that UAW members serve a higher power. We have a mission and a calling. We fight not only for the good of our union or for the good of our members and our families, we fight for the good of the entire working class and the poor. And I believe great things are possible, but only if we're able to shed our fear. The only limits we have to worry about are the limits we put on ourselves. Only if we stop letting the billionaire class define what's possible and what's realistic.
I love that. That was UAW President Shawn Fain making quite the pitch, I think, not only across to his members, but hopefully to all working class folks that understand that the only way America remains the richest country in the world is through the labor that we produce for it, through our efforts. Yeah. So technically, workers could shut down this country any fucking time we felt like it. The billionaire class, it was funny to see, I can't remember which CEO it was or which executive it was from one of the big three, saying, if we capitulated to the union members' demands, we would be bankrupt. We'd be bankrupt in a couple years. And it's like, those are the scare tactics that they throw out there. And I saw even Donald Trump echo this. There was a clip floating around with Trump being interviewed by NBC News' Kristen Welker. And he was Trump with his whatever the fuck Trump's words are worth, which is absolutely nothing. But he speaks for the quote billionaire class. He speaks on behalf of the bosses, right? What Trump said was, if if these workers get what they want, then they won't have jobs in a couple of years. And again, those are the scare tactics to tell people that their jobs will be either outsourced, which is not a scare tactic, that is legitimate, and that is something that companies have been doing ever since Bill Clinton and Joe Biden helped to usher in NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement during the 90s, in which jobs left America, manufacturing and industrial jobs left America at a record pace, not only going to Canada, but going to Mexico, going abroad to Asia, where they could pay those workers abroad starvation wages, have them work in fucked up conditions, not be worried about no environmental protections. They could capitalism at a very effective rate when they export the jobs out of the US. Not to say the conditions here are pristine by any means. But I wanted to take a look at what Biden had to say, because Joe Biden understands, I think, per today's comments, for the first time, Joe Biden understands he's up for re-election. and you can't just be a fucking mouthpiece for the billionaires, for the Warren Buffetts of the world. I know Union Joe, all that bullshit, but no, nobody believes you no more, bro. The railroad workers didn't want you in their shit because they knew you would fuck it up. UAW was already told you to stay the fuck out unless you go help niggas shut up. Unless you come in to add some assistance to these working folks, shut the fuck up and stay out of this shit, because you don't seem to be helping much, Union Joe, anti-Union Joe. But it's what Joe Biden had to say on today. And I have to say, a little surprised. I'm not encouraged because I think he's lying, but I was surprised to hear him even say what he said. Let's take a listen to what Biden had to say.
Workers' right to use their options under the collective bargaining system. And I understand the workers' frustration. Over generations, auto workers sacrificed so much to keep the industry alive and strong, especially through the economic crisis and the pandemic. Workers deserve a fair share of the benefits they helped create for an enterprise. I do appreciate that the parties have been working around the clock. And when I first called them at the very first day of their negotiations, I said, please stay at the table as long as you can to try to work this out. And they've been around the clock, and the companies have made some significant offers. But I believe they should go further to ensure record corporate profits mean record contracts for the UAW. Let me say that again. Record corporate profits, which they have, should be shared by record contracts for the UAW.
Each of the CEOs that represent the big three make close to or just slightly north of $20 million annual. And that's just their salary. That's just their little paycheck. Okay. Then they get more money based off stock sales and dividends and all that extra shit. So we're talking about people that, when you break it down from a ratio perspective, that I think it is the CEO of GM or whatever it used to be, GM. She makes 363 times more than the average salaried worker at one of her factories. That is unsustainable. You can't make 300 times more than what people be making. If she made 30 times more, she would be living a very comfortable life. If the average salary for a factory worker is, let's say, $75,000, if she made 30 times more than that, how much is that? Quick math. I don't do math quick. Hold on. let me hit the calculations. If she made 30 times more than somebody that made 75,000, then she is doing very well. And I hate to say this, she would be making $2.25 million a year, which I think is a very comfortable and acceptable salary. But no, not under end stage capitalism, not under late stage capitalism. No, they have to be making hundreds times what their average worker makes. And in order for them to make $20 million, people have to be living from paycheck to paycheck. They have to be the ones fretful about whether or not they can maintain their housing, whether or not they can maintain food on the table. And with the absence of these cost of living increases, these COLA adjustments that the UAW contract has had in it up until 2008, in which they sacrificed it in order to be, quote, team players, in order to help the industry not only survive, but eventually recover. And the recovery has already happened. The recovery is here. The recovery has arrived. The recovery has been arrived. And yet, the workers are not being able to benefit. So the concern is that this could be a protracted strike. I've already seen the slant in the media about the effect that this strike could have on the economy. Well, if you want the economy to do good or to not be affected negatively, then you should tell the companies that they need to give in to the workers' demands. These unions are not interested in bankrupting the employers that pay their workers, right? They don't want to bankrupt these companies. They don't want to extract everything from these companies. The calculations have been made about what the union members know that the company can bear as it pertains to pay and benefits, etc., and still be profitable. The thing is, the CEOs can't give in to these demands and still make $20 million. That's basically what this comes down to. No one wants to give up their lucrative salaries and benefits. None of the CEOs, that is, right? Because it's all about status, it's all about enrichment, it's all about more, more, more. And I think any one of these CEOs would be wholesale embarrassed. They would be embarrassed to make a lowly $2.2 million a year. Oh my God, poverty. Right? Like that's how they see it, right? Like, oh my God, they would be slumming it at $2 million a year. No, 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 no. It needs to be at least 20. It needs to be at least 20 to make it worth my time. And that's the problem. We need a whole shift in values, right? In the interim, until we are able to seize the means of production, which would be awesome and glorious, and we are working our way towards that. I think we have to make a societal shift in the ways in which we view rich people. Now, maybe we, people who watch this channel, don't have a problem with that, but there's a lot of jerking off of folks that have money in this world. It's so gross. It's so disgusting. Like, I would love for us, like, that's part of our mandate, right? We have a lot of mandates here on the Burn It Down with Kim Brown channel, our Fire Fan. We have a lot of mandates, right? I tell you guys I'm not an organization, so I can't tell you to go take XYZ action. But what I can strongly suggest is that you pop that shit to the people in your goddamn life, right? You talk shit to the people in your circle. I mean, nicely. Don't be like me. Be nice and shit. But like, start to try to shift people's thinking. Talk shit about the billionaires and the millionaires and tell them why. Because they shouldn't exist. How can all these working people, millions, hundreds of millions of working people in this country, be struggling while a small few not only get to do up enjoyment, as Kalechi would say, they get to do up enjoyment. No, they don't just get to do up enjoyment. They get to do up luxury enjoyment. They travel on private jets. They go to exclusive resorts. Like, they are doing enjoyment on a level that most people cannot even fathom, right? While our food prices keep going up. What did they say? The consumer price index or consumer product index, the CPI for the month of August was amongst the highest recorded. Y'all felt it. I feel it going to the goddamn grocery store. I said, what in the hell is this? Why is everything so expensive? And you can't even, and there is no sort of no workaround for the expensive food, right? Because if you go out, you're going to be spending a goo gob amount of food. If you go to the grocery store, you're going to be spending a goo gob amount of food. So what do we do here? Well, what we do is utilize the few, and truthfully, it's not that many, but the few tools available to us, and that is to withhold our labor. And we need to continue to support those who are also withholding their labor. We still want to send solidarity going out to the Writers Guild, to the Screen Actors Guild, for their prolonged, now months long actions that they have been doing against the entertainment industry, the movie industry, the television industry. And now we got the UAW workers to add to that. Now Sean Fine said, Fane, he said, right now it's just going to be these three plants, the Michigan, Ohio, and the Missouri plants, right? With his words is everything's on the table. So don't be surprised if potentially 150,000 workers could be on strike. That's not what we're dealing with now. I think the number is what, around 13,000 between these three plants. But should this strike go on, and if the big three decide that they are not going to meet the workers' demands, then more people could head out to the strike lines, which we got to support. And we have to support that in the ways that we are able to, even if it's literally just speaking words of affirmation and solidarity with these folks, right? And we have to be sure, again, to correct those within our spheres when they start to complain about the greedy union workers. Oh my God, they already make blah, blah, blah. And now they want blah, blah, blah. I don't make blah, blah, blah. Well, don't you wanna? Don't you think you deserve? Like, don't side against your fellow working person in support of the bosses. Don't do that. Yeah, it's fucked up that you don't have a union job, that you don't have the benefits. And these folks are out there standing together, standing strong and solid to make sure that all of them have it, not just a few, not just some. So these are things that we should strive for. We should tell those in our spheres that unions aren't greedy. And let me be clear, unions are not perfect out here, right? But it's better than nothing. Like, you rather deal with the bullshit from the union than catch hell from the job all the time, right? You want to have the ability to go tell. You gotta like at work, you can't go tell on your boss. Your boss lay down the law and you can't go tell nobody. But if you work at a union shop, maybe there's somebody you can tell. Maybe there's a grievance that can be filed. Maybe there's an action that can be taken. Maybe there could be some punishment for the bosses, for the managers, if you are being treated unfairly or the contract is being violated in some way. These things have meaning. They have grounding, and you can do shit about it. Not all the time, but it's better than zero, right? Like in the telemarketers scam documentary that we've been talking about on the Remix Vortex show of Black Power Media. Man, 10% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Okay. So even if what the union can do is nominal, it's better than zero. It's better than zero. So we want to send our solidarity, our support, our love truly to the striking United Auto Workers of Toledo, Ohio, of where in Missouri is that plant? They keep saying outside of St. Louis. I didn't see a specific town, but where is it? St. Charles somewhere? But down in Missouri and outside of Detroit. Shout out to the D and the whole Michigan. Well, except for the Cracker Fire part of Michigan. But the black Michigan, we send love. We send love to all the black Michigan and all that. But no, this is something that I think it's not my opinion. This is historic. All three of the big automakers have not been on strike at the same time via the UAW, right? The UAW members have not struck all of these places at once. So we are in the midst of something somewhat historical. So I am hoping and positive that it is going to yield the results that the members want, because I hope that the upper crust get it clear that working people are fucking serious. Like, all these conditions in which we have accepted truly for way too long, oh, that shit's about to change. Okay? Shit's about to change around here. But please believe that the elites are not going to change willingly, and they are not going to change without a fight. So it's going to be imperative that we all stand together with our working class folks, regardless if it's your industry, if it's not your industry, it could be your industry next. So that's why we got to stand up for the folks that are out there laying it on the line right now. So solidarity to UAW. Thank you for what you do. Let me take a quick break here, y'all. I'm gonna keep this kind of cute tonight, everybody. I've told y'all in the past that Jesus doesn't really love me because Jesus will have my menses sync up with the new moon. And Jesus don't even be sending me the Powerball numbers for that shit, y'all. I just be double agonized. I be double agonized from the celestial effects that are wreaking havoc on my body. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I've never liked it nor appreciated it. I don't know what I I I don't get no specific divination from this. Like I said, I could deal with the full moon syncing up with my period if I got some lotto numbers out of it. You feel some winning lotto numbers, Jesus. Let me be specific. Let me be specific in my asks. Like, Lord have mercy. Why? What did I do? What did I do? So I don't I'm feeling big deal. Jesus dropped the charges. Jesus, big deal. Big deal. Where's Abby? Learn life, Abby. Abby got some divination about her. Abby, what is this? What can I get out of it? Positive. Because this is bullshit. I don't be digging it. Infinite. I know you don't understand. I know. Sweary furry. I don't be digging this shit. I do not dig it. And I'm big old. Let me tell you. Oh my God. Wait. Let me tell you, you want to talk about a bitch looking forward to menopause? Nigga, what? Somebody send me the date. What is the date that menopause is gonna arrive? I'm looking forward to that. When does that come? Is that 2-day shipping like Amazon? When does menopause get here? For fuck's sake. Franny, I've been doing menstruation since I was 10. I'm over it. I'm over it. I am over it. I'm over it. I'm sorry, Yipper 99. I don't mean to subject all the mandem to my lady parts problems and shit. And I don't even really be having problems. It's just that I don't, that's wrong. That's why I say Jesus don't be looking out, man. Tasia, why don't Jesus be looking out? I know why he'd be looking out, because he a man. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Jesus. I'm sorry. That's why I be praying to Mary. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Thank you all so much. Thank y'all for indulging my ridiculosity. Yes, come on in. Video, like the video, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All right, let me sit up right for this story, because this is actually a serious story. And this story is actually an update. Woo! This is an update to a story that I brought you guys last August of 2022. There was an incident at the Anacostia Public Library in Southeast DC where a training session for DC special police officers. Well, what are special police officers? DC special police officers are like, and it's no disrespect to the SPOs, or maybe I should be disrespecting SP. I don't know, but they're sort of like super duper security guards, but some of them can carry guns, right? So last August, there was a training at the Anacostia Library for special police officers who were specifically assigned to libraries. They were doing what they called a baton training. Okay. So after the training session was completed, the training session, by the way, was led by a former Metropolitan Police officer who actually was a lieutenant, who retired as a lieutenant from the MPD. He started his own security firm, consultings, whatever the fuck cops do when they finish being cops and then they get to take more money from the public by consulting. So what happened was this consultant, this former cop who was now a trainer of other cops, did not know his actual sidearm from his practice weapon, which is orange and doesn't fire bullets. He drew out his actual gun and shot a 25-year-old woman whose name was Mauricia. Shot her in the chest and she died. This was a really hard story for me to even bring. Now it's all coming back to me from last August because there was nothing that this woman did. She didn't do anything except stand there, be beautiful, and apparently her beauty or whatever was such that this 50-some-year-old man who himself was a 30-plus year veteran of law enforcement just lost all his fucking wits and didn't know his actual pistol from his fucking play gun. And he shot this woman. He was sentenced last month, August 2023. This man was sentenced, and I'm gonna tell you guys what the sentence is. Well, actually, maybe we'll do the package. And Will, my bad. I meant to tell you that you need to add, if you could start that package at like 5 seconds in, because I wasn't able to trim it myself. So it like starts and it stops and then it's actually starts. So it's like 5 seconds, but it was so tight. I wasn't able to trim it on my iPhone. So let me know when you're ready to run that and we can get into that. But so what happened? So this officer, former officer, pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter. He accepted a plea deal and he is currently doing 3 years in jail. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years in jail. 3 years in jail. The family of the slain woman is outraged. And what they have done now that this man, his trial is over, and I believe he's already begun serving his sentence, they obtained the surveillance video taken that day from inside the library and they shared it with the public and they wanted it shared. Let me be clear about that. The family wants this video out there and to also give content warnings and trigger warnings. You see enough. I don't believe that we are going to see the moment in which he actually shoots her, but we see the moment before and then we see the aftermath, the moments after. And it's astounding. Like, it is absolutely incredible what so-called trained law enforcement professionals, how they are capable of such recklessness and such incompetence. And then I have questions about the way that the mandem flirt. Some of the mandem. Let me get my fucking disclaimers out there. So anyway, Will, are we ready to run that, my brother? If so, go ahead and give that a whirl.
Dramatic video of the shooting that killed a library special police officer last year in Anacostia. We do want to warn you, though, that video you're about to watch may be disturbing for some. It shows retired MPD Lieutenant Jesse Porter killing 25-year-old Marisa Mannion.
And our Daniel Hamburg joins us at the Anacostia Library. And Daniel, Porter was just sentenced to 3 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. A big question we have tonight, why are lawyers releasing that footage now?
The U.S. attorney wouldn't allow the release of that video until after after the criminal case was over, but the Mannion family attorney says they wanted to release it because they want accountability so that what happened here at the Anacostia Library last year doesn't happen to anyone else. On August 4th of last year, special police officers were involved in a baton training. In this newly released video, you can see the group of trainees appearing to joke around before taking a picture. That's when former MPD Lieutenant Jesse Porter unholsters his gun and shoots Marissa Mannion. Mannion family attorney LaToya Francis Williams has been pushing for the video's release.
I see someone that should not have had a weapon on him in the first place in the building. I see someone that should not have pointed or depressed the trigger in the first place.
At first, Porter appears to laugh until it looks like he realized he actually shot her. Almost 2 minutes later, he starts CPR. Porter's attorney says the video proves their case that the shooting was an accident.
Mr. Porter accepted responsibility for having acted negligently. He accepted responsibility for the harm that he's caused to Ms. Mannion and his family.
Though the criminal case is over, the Mannion family plans to sue the city in a civil case.
We believe the responsibility is with the District of Columbia that continued a pattern and practice of allowing this dangerous situation, knowing that there had been complaints for this not to happen in the first instance.
Retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffendaffer says the video is shocking and the district should relook at its policies.
They're going to walk into that civil court with a conviction for manslaughter in their hands. This is a no-brainer, easy case.
The Mannion family attorney says they did give the district notice for that civil case. They're awaiting a response.
Interesting. And I have lots to say, but there were some things I just wanted to say on the onset. So first of all, obviously our condolences continue to go out to the Mannion family. Mauricia is or was a 25-year-old woman. She was the mother of a 5-year-old child. I believe it's been reported that she was caring for her father who lived with her. So undoubtedly her family is still extremely devastated at this sudden loss of this promising young lady. I know y'all, I know how we feel about police, but maybe she wasn't always going to be police. Maybe she would have made a different, I don't know, but I think at 25, she deserved to live. Okay. She deserved to live, quite frankly, regardless of her profession. And certainly she did not deserve to have her life taken in this way. But I wanted to circling back to the package real quick and some of the comments made by the lawyer that stood out. Now, the lawyer said that Jesse Porter Jr. should not have had a loaded weapon inside the library in the first place. That is correct. It is DC policy that there are no guns in the fucking library. Nigga, that go for your ass too. That go for you too. And the day, or rather, within the same month, this incident occurred August of 2022. Within that same month, August 2022, the head of the DC Library Public Safety, the person that was in charge that actually resigned. And I thought that was obviously not coincidental. My guess, and I'm just guessing, this is my opinion here, but there was probably some knowledge in advance that Jesse Porter Jr. had been conducting these trainings with his gun on his fucking hip, and he was not supposed to have his gun on his hip. But we know the cops believe that the rules don't apply to them, so that's why he was allowed to continue with his gun on his hip. Okay. Some other interesting tidbits about what happened that particular day. So it's been reported that Jesse Porter Jr., like I said, he had his actual sidearm on one side of his hip, and he had his practice gun, the bright orange joint that don't shoot bullets. He had that on the other side of his hip. And it's been reported, and I hate the way that some of the news reports have framed this, but they said that in a joking manner, the Jesse Porter Jr. can be seen, with, unholstering the orange gun and shooting it playfully at Mauricia in advance of him actually shooting her. And everybody, you see the training group, la ha ha ha, blah blah blah. Dog, that's not funny. Like, don't flirt with me by pretending to shoot me. Is this how we flirt? We pretend to kill each other? This man was big, 26 years old at the time of this incident. Not a baby, not a little boy at all. And you can't tell me that this man was not enamored at this young woman's presence. Because that's how little boys actually let little girls know that they like them. They hurt them. They pull their hair. They push them. They call them names. They put their hands on them. And what are our little girls told? Oh, oh, baby, don't worry. He's just pushing you, biting you, punching you, pulling your hair. Because why? Because he likes you. This the shit I'm talking about, y'all. We can say, all of this violence against women will end once we end colonialism and capitalism. But that's a lie. That's a fucking lie. Because these young people, these young boys, these men, these big fucking men are socialized that how we flirt with women is to enact violence against them. Like, I don't see what the fuck is flirtatious about pretending to pull out a gun and shoot me, but then your dumbass actually does pull out the fucking gun and shoot me. And then the utter disregard and disrespect about the value of this young woman's life, that this motherfucker was given the 3 years in jail. He was facing numerous charges. And in fact, prosecutors asked the judge at the time of his trial last month for 7 years in jail. Woefully short, not nearly enough time, in my opinion, for the taking of somebody's life. Now, I don't disagree that this man did not, with intent, intentionally take this young woman's life. But in my opinion, it is unquestionably a form of femicide. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she was basically shot and killed because she was a woman. This man, this Jesse Porter Jr., this former lieutenant of the Metropolitan Police, this 33-year law enforcement veteran. We're going to get to Jesse has a resume. Jesse got a LinkedIn page. I'm going to show you all that in a second. This man, with all this experience, at the end of the day, he shot her because he liked her. He had an attraction to her. He had been flirting with her the whole training session by pretending to shoot her previously with a fake gun. How would that is absolutely femicide. You could call it unintentional femicide, just like it was, involuntary manslaughter, which he pled guilty to. But her family is furious. They are hurt, and I can see it. I can feel it every time I see these people on TV. I can see the despondency and the utter disbelief, in my opinion, that more people aren't upset about this, right? But the problem is, as upstanding, quote, as upstanding as Mauricia was, homeowner, like she checked off all the black bougie aspirational boxes. You know what I'm saying? She was working, she had a house, she was taking care of a child, taking care of her dad. She's still a black woman, and her value does not equal that of other victims, right? Her value does not equal that of other victims, and we see that in the way in which Jesse Porter Jr. was sentenced. You see, Bagheera just walked in and walked out, just opened my door. And now the TV's all coming in. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Well, if you could please, real quick, pop up Jesse Porter Jr.'s LinkedIn page, because I couldn't believe, because I was trying to do my Googles to try to see if Jesse Porter Jr., whilst being a white shirt basically for the Metropolitan Police Department, I was trying to see if he had been in any other shit. But then I came to his LinkedIn page, and that caught my eye. And I said, wow, nobody even took his LinkedIn page down, huh? So I guess Jesse Porter Jr., once he does his 3 years for involuntary manslaughter, he's probably just going to resume his police consultancy, as he did. He is the CEO. There you go. Jesse J. Jr. Porter, CEO for Police Use of Force Expert. He's got that in his LinkedIn. 33 years of diverse law enforcement leadership, also a certified crisis hostage negotiator, helps to shape legal strategy with comprehensive UOF. Does that say use of force insight? UOF, is that what UOF stands for? Use of force insight. So this motherfucker was an expert on use of force. And this dumb son of a bitch didn't know his fucking gun from his fucking practice weapon. God help us. Hold on, let me see. Wait, because I think there was some other interesting parts of his LinkedIn page. Yep, it goes into with over 3 decades of distinguished service in the field of supervision and education within the law enforcement. I am a seasoned professional specializing in use of force. My experience spans both the public and the private sector, and comprehensive insight into the complex landscape of law enforcement. This is how you know that the police can and will not be, quote, reformed, because we have a bunch of fucking dolts. And of course, when I heard about this story, this was last year naturally, but what was the first thing that came to mind? The first comparison rather. And I thought about Officer Kim Potter up there in Minnesota, who shot and killed Dante Wright when she alleged that she believed she was reaching for her taser and instead put out her pistol and shot him in the head. Because again, this field training officer, Officer Potter, this dumb fucking cow, didn't know her taser from her goddamn sidearm, much like this stupid son of a bitch. And just like Kim Potter, who I believe served 2 years for murder, for killing somebody. I know the charge that she was convicted of was not murder ultimately, but murder is what she ended up doing. That was the action, right? Well, she got 2 years and this motherfucker got 3. So let me ask y'all this. Us being regular schmegular ass people, working class people, you know, if I accidentally shot Will in the fucking head, I think they're gonna give me more than 3 years. And Will, I'm not planning on shooting you in the head. I just you was right there. You was right there. I'm not. Will is safe, everybody. But if for reasons me or Will ended up shooting anyone accidentally in the fucking head or in the chest, as was the case with Mauricia Mannion, that Jesse Porter Jr. shot her in the chest, I assure you, we ain't getting 3 years. We ain't getting 3 years. Will, if you could join me here for us. Actually, keep that up for a second. Let me close my door real quick because Badagira done opened the damn door. Well, if you don't mind, because okay, so we talked about the actual factuals of the case, but I have deeper questions about what passes for flirtation, what passes for, how can I express to the member of the, in this case, the opposite sex, that I'm interested, that I like them, and I want to play, I want to fucking play. Will, this man who's big, 56 years old, playing with this woman, playing with this young girl, 25.
Who plays like that? Who plays with fake guns and real guns after like, yo, why are you playing in that situation and why you think that's attractive? I don't know.
But I wanted to ask you, specifically. I wanted to ask you specifically because, I mean, you're a teacher. You have experience recently in the classroom with young boys and girls, right? You teach in a co-ed setting. The age group, I believe, can we say elementary age, right? Kids.
Mhm.
And you and I have had these conversations, and you tell me and tell everybody, like, what do you see in the ways in which girls and boys are interacting with each other, and especially, at those tender ages where, they may have little crushes and, oh, so and so thinks you cute, all of
Yeah.
that. Like, what are the ways in which you observed as a layperson, but still as an observer of children on a daily basis for a school year? Like, what are the ways that you were seeing that the boys and girls interact with one another?
Uh, that's so it's so much because I mean it starts off in kindergarten for real. Just the like pressure, it's like little boys will definitely take stuff from little girls, hit little girls. I mean, they honestly, little boys just violence is the answer for everything. At certain, they want to fight everybody for everything. He hit me. He hit me first, and then it's a constant back and forth. But yeah, it's not it's ain't nothing sweet about it no more. It's not like love letters. It's always like, let me hit you and run, and let me go do mess with your hair or play to pretend like I was about to do. I was just playing. I was just joking, and it's like, yo, why would you want to joke like that? I tell the kids often, like, listen, I gotta get different ways to express how y'all feel about certain people because you trying to slide, you know, I like this person, but being mean to them, I don't how that's confusing.
So even the being mean, like the whole mean girl trope can be a thing, right? Girls can be mean, but are they physical in the same way in which the boys are? I mean,
Nah,
I don't want you to I don't want you to answer to confirm my biases. I mean, be truthful. Like, how are the young women? How are little girls? How are they interacting with the boys? Like, are they being physical with the boys in the same way?
no, not even close. I mean, little boys, honestly, too. Like I said, everything is really physical, so it's uh, it's to a level like even little boys will hit themselves when they get mad or frustrated or somebody said this. I didn't say that. So why do you care if you didn't say it? They saying I said no. Like you should just people. You can't control what they gonna say. So in short, yeah, girls are they just way different. Um, they do flirt. It's real lighthearted for real for the most part. But it's hard for little boys because it's like everything is physical. Everything is like I have to use my hands to express myself, and sometimes even like talking to them, it'd be hard to talk to them because it's like, yo, are you paying attention or are you kind of like what's going on? Because you don't register that you're using your fist to when you're happy, because you hit your friends, like even there, that's the thing. Like they smack each other in the neck so hard, and like don't get me wrong, like we had these games and did these things too, but I'm like, nah, yeah, like you deserve to get for this. But it's like you smack your friends, you smack people you like, you smack, it's you smack, you want to fight people that you mad at, like so. Yeah, I just honestly, just try to get them to reflect on like what actions are you trying to take, and controlling somebody else's actions. I tell them in the classroom too. I was like, do I sit here and be trying to control all y'all? Sit down, get caught. No, I say, let me go over here and I'm gonna talk to the people that's talking to me in the same way, and you'll get your supplies and you get what you need from me, and because it respect has to always be centered in these situations. But I know, we literally talking about it, but it's like even when it's like, oh, I like you use a way to disrespect me to show that you like me is bug fucking out. Like that's crazy.
And you
I,
see this at children elementary school age.
yeah, And the thing is like even this guy, like we were talking about, it was like he's literally been in around law enforcement. Law enforcement, you run around all sorts of people all the time. You've been in law for as long as this woman has been alive.
Longer.
Right, longer. And you just, let me pull out the gun. And then I'm just thinking too, like, why is the fake gun with the real gun? And then this is a police training and they can't have weapons in the thing. Why do everybody gotta have a gun? Even the library, like, why do the library cops got fucking guns?
Valid questions. And this was a baton training, you know what I mean? And we can debate about, why we need police officers in the library to begin with, right? Like,
Yeah.
why are police in the libraries? Why are the police being trained in I can't say conflict resolution because baton training is how to beat a nigga ass, right?
Right.
Like, oh, we're gonna teach y'all how to beat somebody with this baton today. And here's our trainer, Jesse Porter Jr., with his pistol and
Yo,
his play gun. Even though we not talking about guns today, what the fuck? But
I,
anyway,
I
go ahead.
wonder that's just crazy because it's like, what? I'm just tripping off that same kind of the like, that's how you flirt? Like, you 33? Don't he got a wife? Like, don't he got kids her age? Like, I don't. That was just creepy to me. It just gave creep energy altogether. And then also too, this is the type of dude that's like the head of people, so he's already on ego tripping.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Thank you, Will. I wanted your whole dollar, not just your 2 cents. I wanted that whole dollar on this. I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. G, love y'all.
Y'all, that's Will. Will's a man of many talents, man of many jobs. And I wanted Will to share that because I haven't worked with children in a very long time. I don't know what the kids is doing these days, but as somebody who worked with elementary school age children day in and day out, I know Will was low key doing some sociological observations of these kids, and I know that. And I knew he was going to say what he was going to say because me and him have had these talks before. And this is where I get frustrated where people just think I'm just bombing on men. I'm not bombing on men. Y'all know I'm not. Men are trash. A Naya video on this whole fucking channel where I'm like, men are trash. Why don't men do? All I want the men to do is to stop killing the women. That's it. I don't give a fuck about $200 dates. I don't give a fuck why niggas cheat. I don't give a single fucking shit about any of that relationship shit. Maybe I should, but I don't. I don't give a single goddamn fuck about it. All I want is for the man to stop killing us and to stop attacking us and to stop hurting us. And if men are freely acknowledging, well, men not only hurt women, but we hurt other men too. We need to get on that. Like that sounds like an everybody problem. This is not just a woman problem. This is a everybody fucking problem. But as we see, per brother Will's layman observations, the shit starts early. It starts early. And if all of us are living under capitalism, if all of us are living under white supremacy and colonialism, you have to tell me why it's just the boys that act this way. You have to tell me why it's just the men that act this way. And of course, I'm not saying it's 100% men and 0% women and girls. No, but we know what those percentages look like. We know it's a lot to a little, okay? No, it's not all versus nothing. It's a lot to a little. A lot to a little. So if women and girls came up under the same system, under the same society, under the same circumstance, why aren't we fucking up the men at commensurate rates, man? And I can't answer these questions. The mandem can only answer these questions, and the mandem don't want to answer these questions because it is easier to deflect, in my opinion, to capitalism and colonialism and white supremacy than it is to fully acknowledge how harmful and fatal patriarchy is. Like, I don't, patriarchy gets listed like third or fourth down, right? In the systems that we need to dismantle. I hear patriarchy be coming in like third and fourth. You feel me? And I'm sorry, I am not of the belief that once capitalism and colonialism are dismantled, that automatically patriarchy gonna fall right into place. I don't believe that at all. And for us collectively to back burner the issue of violence against women and men, but executed, enacted, perpetuated majorly, in a majority way by men, um it shifts maybe blame is not the right word, but it shifts responsibility, right? Like, there is something about the way that we are socializing our boys that cause them to grow up to be 56-year-old fucking big men who think they want to flirt with this 25-year-old girl by pretending to pull out the gun and shoot her until his dumbass actually did shoot her. Like, none of the reports that I saw said flirt, because I understand the dynamics between hetero men, right? And the way they view younger women. I knew this nigga was flirting. Of course he was fucking flirting. But why is he flirting like that? Why is the flirt that I might kill you, haha, pow, 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 haha? What the fuck is funny about that? Like, what is romantic about that? What is supposed to intrigue a woman? What is supposed to pique a woman's interest in you because you pretend to kill her until you actually do? And then he only gets 3 years. Why? Because he was a cop and she was a black woman. And she was a fucking cop. Just to go to show you how the disregard and disrespect for the lives of black women. Her being a cop wasn't even enough to bring her justice. Ain't that some shit? Franny Francais, hold on. You ran us some bucks, baby girl? Hold on. Let me see what you said here. Guys, what do y'all think? Because I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna be able to be quiet about this shit, man. And niggas can call it whatever the fuck they want. They can call it this, they can call it that. I'm not lying. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not pulling this shit out the fucking air. Trust me, y'all. The stories I could talk about. And maybe I should, but the thing is, the reason I don't bring y'all the stories about women out here in the United States specifically taking these L's at the hands of their boyfriends or their husbands or fucking strangers on the street is because I don't want to bum y'all out all the time. I don't want to bum myself out all the time. This shit's fucking depressing, but it's our reality. I can't, and I'm not going to look away while these women's bodies keep piling up. I can't. Why, y'all? I've said it. Because but for the grace of God, go I. And if the mandem is fucking up the other mandem like that, what the heck? What we need to get a grip of this shit, man. And it starts while they are little. Okay, stop socializing these boys to violence. Stop buying these little boys guns and shit. Stop playing shoot 'em up games with these little boys. Stop letting these little boys have access to these violent video games. And let me big up to our parents. I know we got parents out here. We have parents of sons out here. Learn Life has shared with us the difficulty it is. Like, you can teach your kid, you can teach your son specifically all the upright ways all you want. When they get around them other unruly, unrefined, unsocialized boys, man, they can pick that shit up easily. In spite of the parents' best efforts. I understand it. I'm not unsympathetic. I am not. But I'm a gal out here. I'm a woman out here. I'm a survivor out here. Like, I would love to think that I have, at 45, experienced my last attack from a man. It would be foolish of me to think that. It would be absolutely silly and asinine for me to think that. It would be dumb for me to think that. I don't know what I can do to change to make a man or a boy not want to attack me. But can we please do something? And not to say, when I say do something, I'm not even implying that nothing is being done. But what I am saying very directly is that there's not enough being done. There's not enough. Franny France, what'd you say here, baby? Franny France, thank you so much for your super chat. Franny says that cops are bullies and bullies are cowards and pigs can't leave their guns out of the rooms. Shaking my fucking head. Girl. Y'all go look up Jesse Porter Jr. on LinkedIn. Read that goofy shit. I wish I could found something in the allotted time connected to his service as a Metropolitan Police lieutenant. Because trust me, I have a feeling that may not have been his first killing. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know. I have a feeling that may not have been his first time killing somebody. And you saw the reaction. He shot her and laughed. Initially, laughed. And then realized that he had actually shot her with a live round. What the fuck do you think Mauricia Mannion was thinking when she got struck in the chest with a bullet and she's looking at the motherfucker that shot her and this nigga crack a smile? Oh my God. Kill it with fire. Hold it underwater until it stops moving. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know if it's toxic masculine. I don't know the term. I don't is it mannishness? I don't know what the fuck it is, but it needs to fucking die. It needs to die. And its purveyors need to die. The motherfuckers that run with this shit. Like you can't there's no safety, y'all. There's no safety. You can't even be in a training minding your motherfucking business because some fucking goofy ass nigga with a gun wants to flirt with you by shooting you. That's the flirtation. That's the dance he wanted to play with her. I want the Mannion family to be successful in their lawsuit. But again, doesn't fucking matter. I mean, not to say it doesn't matter. It probably matters to the family. But at the end of the day, no amount of money is going to bring this young lady back home to her son, bring her back home to her family, restore her back to her community. She's gone. And why? Why is she gone? But the person that killed her, 3 years. That is a gross miscarriage of justice. And just further proof that even if you are of the system, if you are part of the system still does not keep you safe. You belonging to the system, you wearing the badge of the system does not keep you safe, and it does not ensure that if your life is taken unfairly, that there's going to be any accountability because of your race and gender, because you are a Black woman, because you occupy the lower rungs of society's hierarchy, even if you are part of that system. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out. Shout out to Big Teal. Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to Tasia. Shout out to Vesper X. Shout out to my son, Tyler. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't want to bum y'all out, but I mean, nobody wants to, it won't say nobody. Let me not say that. But patriarchy is not getting shouted out. Patriarchy does not get its proper shout outs out here when we talk about the systems that we need to dismantle. But quite literally, maybe not, patriarchy may not be doing capitalism numbers, but it's doing numbers out here. You feel me? Like patriarchy ain't putting up zeros out here. Patriarchy is getting its numbers in. in. Read the headlines from across the country. I'm not lying. Patriarchy is getting its numbers in, baby. And the thing is, I think that we can get a hold of how we socialize boys and men quicker than we can probably dismantle capitalism and colonialism. I do believe that. But what pisses me off is that we have such a hard time getting folks to acknowledge that or to include it in their top three. So can patriarchy be in the top three? Can we be fucking top two? Shit. Get the shit out of here. Because it's killing us. It's killing women and it's killing men. And I'm done. Like, I'm fucking over it. Raise these boys better. Get a hold of these motherfuckers. And I know it's hard. I'm not unsympathetic, unempathetic, uncompassionate. I am. But it's got to be, I guess, a collective. Because you can't be raising your son right out here. And then the other ones raising their sons as fucking werewolves and shit just to be unleashed upon society to wreak havoc. And that's what makes me mad about. Anyway, you know what? I could talk about this shit all night. I'm not gonna though. You know why? Because it's Friday and I love y'all and I'm gonna turn y'all loose on this here tonight. So thanks everybody. Shout out. What's up, Infinite Content? Infinite Content. Don't let them niggas on Remix give you a hard time, dog. We know that you support that you big me up because you support me, man. I know that's the case, Infinite. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much, Latif. Did I see Chuck Diesel in this motherfucker? Chuck, what happened? You got lost? How did you find your way in here, Chuck Diesel? I know I saw the Night Rider in this bitch. What's up, Chuck Diesel? Good to see you in here, man. I love to see it. Yeah, so anyway, kids and big kids and little kids alike, I'm gonna turn y'all loose out here. Y'all be easy. Please have a good, safe weekend. Shout out to Quaker anarchists, Quaker socialists, all of our New England people. Please be safe. Y'all got a hurricane coming in your direction, maybe tonight. What's up, Emmanuel? Like, I think that shit is coming tonight, so be careful. Do we have any Southeastern Canadians? If we do, y'all be careful too. Shout out to the Halifax, Nova Scotians out there. So anyway, Anna Hart, thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mama Lorraine. Love you guys to pieces. You all are fantastic. Will, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your contribution as always. And I appreciate, everything that you bring to the table. Your whole dollar, not just your 2 cents, Will. So thank you so much for being you. And we want to thank Molly as well. Sandra Barros. ¿Qué pasa, mami? Good to see you in here. Yipper 99. Yep. Fronty Francais. Yep. Love to see y'all in here. Yep. Don't forget, guys, support all of our comrades, support Black Power Media, support Status Quo, support Kalechi Okafor. I feel like I like more people, but sometimes I'd be falling short. I know I like more people, but that list be feeling short as shit. So anyway, support them folks that I named. Y'all have a good rest of y'all weekend, and we will see y'all back here on Tuesday for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Thanks to Will and Molly. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye, y'all. Bye.